Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Most of us have had the thought, if we could change the world in some way, we would. But how do we do that? Welcome Ann Takasaki from the Board of Directors and Executive Committee of Big Ocean Women to tell us how we can make our dent in the world. Welcome.
Hello,
wow,
Ann.
That was a great introduction.
That was. I'm like, wow. So before we let her take over the mic, I just wanted to read a couple things that Ann has on her plate. First of all,
she really is fabulous.
Oh, she's so fabulous.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Whatever.
You're third generation Japanese American,
Right.
and your grandparents were actually in the World War II
relocation camps.
Relocation camps.
My parents were. They met there and married there and had their first child there.
So see, Ann, that alone could be like a whole thing. So we'll have you back.
Yeah,
that
I know.
one.
I almost started asking questions. I'll stop.
And so you're on the One Voice Choir board, and then the Utah Women's Walk board.
It's actually called One Voice Children now.
Oh, One
it's
Voice
more
Children.
than just a choir.
Okay, One Voice Children.
Thank you.
You were on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints General Young Women's Board.
Oh, wow.
And for how long?
That's a 5-year calling, but I came into it a little bit late, so it was not quite 5 years.
Okay. And then I loved what you said. You are always looking for a vehicle to do God's work.
That's right.
Which,
oh, I love that.
I know, isn't it great?
Well, and she has lots of vehicles that she's driving right now.
So the vehicle that you chose tonight to talk to us about is
Big Ocean Women.
Big Ocean Women.
That's right. It's a. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, how did that come to be?
Well, Carolina Allen is a founder. She was a self-isolating, homeschooling mom.
Okay.
And just had an awakening and wanted to do something that would benefit not just her family, but others and even the world. So she prayed, like, God, give me something. What do you want me to do? And she realized that real power is the power to influence. So her sister-in-law passed away, and they went to her funeral, and the place was packed. She'd never married. She didn't have any children. She was an executive in a corporation, but yet people were there to express their appreciation to her for what they had done for her personally. Mm-hmm. There was even a group of men who came and performed the haka with tears streaming down their face.
Wow.
So she realized at that time, this is power. This is really what I want to be able to help women all over the world tap into. So she went on a walk on the beach. She's standing on a rough, barnacled rock. And she looked down and saw that the bottom was smooth and realized that these little waves had just smoothed out this rock. And she thought, I'm a little wave. But as she raised her eyes and saw the ocean, she said, but I'm part of the big ocean of women throughout the world who have innate feminine gifts that give them power and strength and the ability to make a difference. And so she started Big Ocean Women. When I first went to the opening meeting where she wanted to pull in people, I thought to myself, gosh, you've got to change that name. And my husband was, would make kind of jokes about it, but this name is so significant. We are part of a big ocean of women who love being women, who use their innate, inherent feminine gifts and talents to make a big difference in the world.
So what are you doing? What does the Ocean Women do?
We gather together in chapters or cottages. Like-minded women will gather in someone's home or in a building and talk about our tenets. We have 12 tenets that that are the foundation of everything that we do. Things like, and I'm going to give you all one of these calendars.
Ooh, a calendar, okay.
Thank you. Okay.
And in the calendar, you'll see our vision statement, our mission statement, our mantra, but also our tenets. Each one of the months focuses on a tenet. So this month, the month of April, for example, focuses on the tenet that we believe in a life culture and work to support our environment.
Okay.
But it's not the kind of environment that you might think of. We focus on 3 environments: the womb, which is the first environment for every human being, the family, the home, and then the community. And if you are to do anything to destroy any one of these environments, it impacts all of the others. And so we had a wonderful discussion. You know, I talked about chapters, meeting in chapters, but for people who don't have a chapter near them, we have a virtual cottage meeting every month.
Oh, okay.
It's first Wednesday of every month at 11 o'clock, and it's via Zoom. We've been doing Zoom for like 5 years now, so Zoom is nothing new to
So
us.
this is old news to Anne.
But we gather from all over the world, Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana, London, and all over the United States, Texas, Missouri, Alaska.
Wow.
You know, these women tune in and we discuss this tenet. So we're talking this week about this sacred first environment of the womb and how precious it is. One woman says, when I got pregnant, my husband was so mad at me that he beat me. She feels like that's made a difference for that child her whole life. And then we talked about creating a safe environment in the home. And how in some cultures and in some countries, that's really hard to do. Our South Sudan cottage president was in tears. Her husband, through this COVID pandemic, has turned into a different person. He's become violent, he's drinking alcohol, he's doing drugs. And there she is trying to create a safe environment for her children. And so she took the children and moved to another place. And his parents are just so angry with her.
Oh, wow.
How could you leave him? He needs you. But how could she stay there in that environment and expose her children to that violence? So, yeah, interesting.
So that's just like one of 12 tenets.
One of 12 tenets, but these are discussions. They empower each other. And then we came up with this idea, well, let's, in June, when we're talking about the irreplaceable role of men and fathers, let's have a conference and let's invite the men to join us. And let's help the men to work through their times of stress. We're innately good, but the world and the stress and the influences of past generations even, they color our actions, and sometimes in negative ways. And so we want to have a conference in June and talk about ways to overcome these weaknesses, overcome these challenges that we've had in our life.
And I want to ask you, you guys have even taken this as far as the United Nations New York City, right?
Yes.
You've been there with your board.
Yes,
Tell us about that experience.
Oh, that's where we have found these wonderful cottage presidents. You know, you go to the elevator and here's a woman, where are you from? South Sudan. Why are you here? Well, my people are blah, 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 blah. And we just say, we have something for you. She becomes our cottage president. That's how we met her. That's how we met Fatima from Nigeria. That's how we met Gloria from London. I mean, Betty Abba from Lagos. That's the beauty of going to these international gatherings, because these women are there, and they're like the top 1% of women in the world. They are so noble and so exceptional. Betty, for example, one of 30 children.
Wow.
One of 30 children, but the first one to get a college education.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm curious to know, I mean, it's a worldwide organization, but maybe somebody even here on a local level who may be seeking something like this, maybe searching for something more. I mean, you were talking about this has been in existence for 5 years, maybe even more. How would someone even begin to seek something like this?
Right, so if you go to our website, and the website will direct you to contact us, but we have a Spanish Fork Cottage.
Oh, do you?
We do.
And who's the president?
Amy Clements, and Kristen Walker is the secretary. And we're going to meet next Tuesday.
Wow. Okay.
And is that your monthly meeting?
Monthly, bi-monthly.
Okay.
We're very, loose in our scheduling, but we're going to be tying some quilts. But while we tie quilts, we're going to listen to the International Day of Healing Conference that Big Ocean Women and a couple other international organizations put together and talked about ways to heal. So, yeah.
Wow.
It's just
really
amazing.
a wonderful
You've
organization.
taken a hurt or something that's wrong in the world and just taken action. And this seems so big to me. I can't even fathom what you guys have been able to
That's the whole idea
do.
of Big Ocean Women, that we see a situation that is a challenge or a trial or something that is stopping us from progressing, and we reframe it. We find a way to reframe that challenge and make it a solution that not only benefits us, but a generative solution that will benefit the next generation and the next generation to come. That's what we are as women. That's what we innately have the ability to do. And that's the whole purpose of our organization, is to help women understand this innate, inherent feminine identity.
I love that.
And then from that, make these wonderful solutions.
And I think even just whatever you can do small-wise.
Right.
I mean, this
Little
is a
things.
huge organization, but if we each around the world, each woman just takes one little step forward or do one little extra.
That's what those little waves are.
Right.
The little
Right.
waves. We have a T-shirt that I should have brought you one. It says, "I am one drop in a big ocean of change."
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
You know,
That's
we all
perfect.
have our own ability to make a difference.
Yeah.
Contribute to change the world.
I think Stacy had a question to ask about.
I just wanted to ask you, Anne, because you do so many incredible things. Do you have any daily habits or weekly habits that you feel that you've done so regularly that has helped you get where you are with your optimism and service?
I think that one blessing of having been in the Young Women Journal board is that Elaine Dalton made us be 100% in 4 things.
Ooh, that's a big
yeah.
ask.
Yeah. So
Let's hear it.
100%. So I mean, it's easy.
I'm writing.
It's easy to be 90%. 90%.
It's easier to be 10.
It's hard to be 100%.
Okay.
So every day, reading some scripture or something inspiring.
Okay.
I speak in terms of inner faith.
Right.
Yes. But something that inspires you every day. Do
Okay.
something to lift your spirit. Pray. Connect with your higher power every day. Have values and standards upon which you stand, which are a foundation to be on and be solid with. Have those standards and live those standards every day. And then, number 4 is to smile, to be positive, and to be appreciative and grateful every day.
Wow.
I've
Those
got
are
him.
good ones.
Okay.
I've got them down. I need all the help I can get.
Well, you can thank Elaine Dalton for that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Anne.
Thank
Anne
you so
and
much for your
Elaine.
time and
Thank you.
educating us
Thank
on
you.
Big Ocean Women. There's more studio chatter coming up.